What's up guys, Legomation Studio here with another Bionicle Classic review. Today we'll be taking a look at Keetongu, one of the 2005 Web of Shadows line Titans. So here's the box. Luckily I had it. I was a Cub Scout, sold nuts and won it from selling enough. As you can see, he looks pretty cool. That just explains the sticker though. He's jumping out of a little tube with the webs in the background just like all the other Titans have. Looks like he's deflecting a laser with his weapon, jumping out at you. Shows the function of shooting the Rotuka spinner. Bionicle, www.bionicle.com. Ages 8 and up. Contains 203 pieces, the least amount of pieces of all the Titans. City Rock is 211, and Rudaka is 233. This guy is just 203, but he had a $20 price tag, which was plenty. And we have his name, Keetongu, here. On the back, just like the other Titans, we have him and his function of spinning his awesome weapon, and then the function of him bending forward and shooting his red Rotuka spinner. Totally awesome. Then the combiners are displayed here, and yeah, awesome. Let's open up and take the instruction booklet really quickly. This one's really wrinkled and stuff. I must have used it a lot. Yeah, that's right. I took him apart at one point, had to put him back together. So, Keetongu bent forward shooting the Rotuka spinner. Just, you know, the instruction booklets for the combiner and all of that. Then we have an advertisement for Rudaka and Sidorak. Then the combiner that he can make with Sidorak. Very cool. Let me just spit it on forward here. Alright. Then we have advertised for the Hordika released that year. The Vizorok released that year. And then on the back we have an advertise for both Bionicle movies, the second, Legends of Metru Nui, and then a teaser for the third movie, getting you excited and pumped for what's to come this fall. But awesome! Let's take a look at the guy. Really awesome figure. This was the first ever, like, totally yellow figure that we'd gotten in Bionicle, you know? He's a giant yellow Titan. And I believe in the movie he's, like, gold, and that would have been cool because they didn't release the gold set this year, you know? I think they kind of did, but it was more of a green gold with the two Toa that they released earlier that year. I do have one of them. I don't know if I'll review him yet. But as you can see, Keetongu is pretty badass. Let's just kind of go over the design. Let's start with the leg. So, as you can see, they kind of have two Technic pieces here and a lot of yellow. We have 3 Metru Nui armors here in yellow. Or not just Metru Nui, these were with the Mata and everything. I don't know why I'm saying Toa Metru, but they're used for armor here. Then attached through a bunch of axle rods and more Technic limb pieces, we have a yellow Toa Metru foot, which is really cool. You could probably make a yellow Toa Metru if you wanted to. Then we have that cool new hand piece or torso attachment ball socket piece that we were given in 2004 with the Toa Metru, and we have it again, and in this time, instead of in white, these little like niche designs, we have in black and gray. So very cool. That's what we have for his foot with the giant piston going up there as an axle rod too. Awesome design. As we move upward, we have a similar design to what we had with Rudaka for her upper thighs, but for this time we have it as his lower limb. We have a gray Rakshi limb, a yellow Technic piece on the back, and then a yellow Rahi piece slash Robo Riders and Throwbots piece here in yellow. Very cool. Underneath it we have another yellow Technic piece as well. Then we head on to the double socket pieces. As you see, it's not the actual Vizorok limb. We actually attach 2 of them together to make this work. Another yellow Technic piece and 2 more yellow armors. Really cool. And then instead of the bent curved side, we actually have the flat side outward this time as an armor for its legs. So really cool. Not the tallest, most slender legs. They're more kind of big and beefy, but that's the way Keetongu is because you know him as that big muscle guy. Really cool. Now, the legs will get in the way of the body design, so we have to just kind of look separately at the body here. The body is very interesting and a little different because we have this cool function of the Rotuka spinner getting released. So we can kind of take a look at it from the side if we will. It has this piece that we were used for the torso of the Vaki actually, which is double ball joint on the sides. goes upward. We have a bunch of Technic pieces and gears and rods that kind of release upward to release the Rotuka spinner, which we'll look at later. They go upwards though into kind of the build that we had with the other Titans, but it's a lot wider and broader in the shoulders. And we have the yellow Technic pieces here, some black here to connect together that release out to the arm. And as we can see, there are the arms there and there. And then his neck is kind of all attached together to a yellow Borak shield piece. But we'll go over that in a little second. First off, let's take a look at one of his arms. His left arm is a totally wimpy, way to go Lego to be completely lazy arm. It's just a Valky limb in gray with a yellow double socket piece, small one that we released with the Toa Metru limb. And then just a connector for one of the, boring old weapons that by now we were tired of because we'd seen them in 2003, 2004, now 2005 again. We would continue to see them throughout Bionicle, but it was given with, Takanuva and Makuta and a bunch of those guys released in 2003. So, kind of a simple, boring weapon. Come on. And then on the side, we have a similar Valky limb, but instead we actually have a cool weapon. Similar to what we had with Rudaka, we have a double socket piece with two of these similar armors in yellow though. And similar to Rudaka and Sidorak, to Rudaka, we have a long axle rod that's kept in place by this piece here that attaches to three of those gears, except to stick with the color scheme, we have the yellow, black, yellow gears, and it does that similar function or the similar movement that we had with Rudaka, but instead we have two Borakal, and I believe these belong to the black Borakal hand/weapon pieces, which look pretty cool. They're kind of a giant shield, and so you would twist it like this, and it doesn't look as cool as the Rudaka one, but it can still look kind of cool. It's like a circle growing bigger and smaller. Let me get the function here. Come on. There we go. So small, big, small, big, small, big, cool. Alright. So that's the function we have for this side. I prefer his right arm weapon better because his left arm weapon is pretty wimpy. Let's attach his legs here so he doesn't look like he's an amputee. There we go. Uh-oh, backwards. There we go. Alright, Keetongu. Now, let's take a look at the chest. So as you can see, we have two Rahi pieces here that reach up to a piston here that have two red pieces on either side. Then we have some gray here just to, continue the color scheme. Then up here we have a yellow Hordika foot as his front chest plate. So that's kind of cool. And then awesomeness, we have a kind of Cyclops eye, which is similar to the design we had with Kreka, although he had two eyes. But his right eye had this this weird like megaphone piece, just like what we have here, and then a red stud kind of dot in the middle that we would get for a lot of the Baraki eyes in red, I believe. That's red, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then we have a yellow Borak shield to go on top for his head. Looks really awesome. Now, there is a function, and it doesn't work the best, but what you have to do here is these red pieces you kind of flip upwards, and they'll open up, and this will go down, and forward goes his whole, basically, eye and chest. So he kind of, like, creeps forward out at you. And then you would pull the Rotuka spinner. Where did it go? So we can just put the Rotuka spinner inside, like that. Yes, yes, yes. Ugh, the Rotuka spinners were such a hassle. Here. And he has a red Rotuka spinner, a red Rotuka ammo, so that's pretty cool. And it would spin. I don't want to. Here, should I do it? Should I do it? It won't go.
The eye is like holding.
The eye is holding it in. Come on, Keetongu. Oh no, it's not. There we go.
Oh God.
So that was a function that we could have with Keetongu, is instead of the actual Rotuka spinner being on his arm, we changed it up and it was under his chest. And I guess you could say it was more powerful than the other Rotuka spinners because it was red and it was in his chest. It's kind of his last resort of defense for Keetongu here. So pretty awesome. I'm going to keep the Rotuka little launch stick in there. So, really cool function. On the back, we'll quickly look. They had one of these sticks, so that way when you would press them forward, it would kind of push it forward a little bit, but it doesn't really work the best, because when I undo it, and it falls down, he just kind of stays there. You have to push it forward in order for that to work. So the point of that little rubber tube in the back doesn't exactly work perfectly. It may have when I first got the set, but that piece gets kind of morphed into the bench shape and it doesn't really have its function anymore. If I got a new one, it might work. But anyways, really cool. So that's Keetongu. Story-wise, you know that he's like not a great being, but like a wise being. He doesn't really talk. He just kind of goes, and he has magical powers that can turn the Hordika back into the Toametru, which is why they go on the search for him. He's a big legend, and we eventually learn, I don't know his whole backstory or where he came from. There probably is an extended story. If you know it, post in the comment section below, Bionicle Nerds. What is the full story about it? Is it recording?
Yeah.
Alright.
Jeez.
What is the full story? Let me know in the comment section below. But if I were to rate Keetongu, I'd give him like, I mean, I want to say 5 out of 5 because the yellow is cool, but his arms are kind of wimpy and he's kind of bulky. So I'd give him like a 4.5 out of 5 just because he wasn't my favorite. Maybe 5 out of 5, but if I went out of 10, it'd be like an 8 out of 10. So Keetongu is pretty cool. His story is awesome. And he has this cool weapon here. So, and a cool build. But it's kind of annoying to have this Rotuka spinner in the middle and it doesn't really push forward, and then he has a totally wimpy arm here that LEGO obviously got lazy with making. So, that's my rating. What do you think? Post in the comment section below. Did you like Keetongu? What was your favorite of the Titans that year? Rudaka, Sidorak, or Keetongu? Let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, we'll see you guys later, and this is LEGOmation Studio. Bionicle Classic Reviews, signing out.